Welcome back to the Pre-Law Perspective, everybody. Let's be honest, a lot of us came into university thinking that good grades would be more than enough. But at some point, you're going to start hearing the same thing over and over again. You need experience. So, what does that actually mean? While the answer is not simply LinkedIn, how do you get it while juggling exams, readings, clubs, and work? That's what we're going to answer today. Okay. I'm your host, Mariana Velez, and today here I have with me
Luca, I'm a J in productions.
Emma, a co-president.
And Dante, VP of Communications.
Firstly, let's talk about something that can not only boost your undergrad experience, but your future career opportunities as well. Co-op opportunities, especially for students here at McMaster, make it so easy for people to put their foot in the door. For those who may not know as much about co-ops, here's some basic information about the opportunities here at McMaster. So co-ops are not automatic or simply enrolled in. It's something that you must apply for, or typically toward the end of your first year. Many co-op programs here typically require students to submit a SUP application, and this will lead to the application process and an interview. If you are admitted, you can then enter a co-op stream in your second year. From then on, your degree is structured in a way to balance the co-op. You will likely alternate your terms with paid 4-month terms, which usually end up being 3 before your graduation. While the payment is obviously a bonus, co-ops aren't your average part-time jobs. They're all like career-relevant opportunities where students can land in positions in a variety of areas, like government offices, policy organizations, legal departments, nonprofits and advocacy groups, HR offices, and financial institutions. Additionally, they are still competitive. You need to ensure that you maintain solid grades and take initiative when you can. The students who do the best in the application process are the ones who do their research beforehand, start building their resumes, and get involved in clubs on campus. McMaster co-ops are an extremely worthwhile opportunity for students due to them being recognized in your transcript. It's not simply an addition to your LinkedIn profile, but it's formally integrated in your undergrad degree. The best part is that even if you don't enroll in a formal co-op stream in undergrad, McMaster still offers hundreds of internship opportunities. Being proactive is key. Research early, and apply as much as you can. Even if your resume isn't fully loaded, most employers still hire students who are still learning to develop their skills. So that's some basic info just about co-ops here, specifically at McMaster. But just to kind of open the floor a bit, do you guys think that experience matters more than your actual GPA when applying to somewhere like law school, or do you think it's the other way around?
I think GPA, obviously, for the most part, but I think experience matters when you can draw it into your personal statement, for example, and then your ABS. But the ABS is only like 150 characters per like position that you have. So I think the personal statement is like really where you can elaborate and kind of connect it to like your own personal journey.
Yeah, I think they're both pretty valuable. Like, but back to what you said about the personal statement, even something as far as getting references, like you're going to meet people like that through co-ops and jobs, people who could speak to your work. And even if it doesn't immediately apply or benefit you as much as grades do for law school, it'll help down the line, building your resume, building you as a person for when you're applying for jobs or even like 2L positions in law school, stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree. I also think that even if experience doesn't, like GPA is obviously sometimes weighted more like when you're applying to law schools. I don't think that the experience is like irrelevant. Obviously it's good to have that. I mean, even just like a job during undergrad, you're having something else other than just like straight school.
It's kind of like, I'm kind of going to go off of what Dante said too. Like, obviously, like GPA is what you need to get into most places, but to have something like under your belt, like not even just professors, like 'cause I know a lot of people use them for reference letters. So it's like any co-op, like if you have like, if you work with like lawyers or something like that, it'll always help you like down the road. Maybe not like crucial to get into law school, but it's always, I guess, good to have for later on.
I think like a lot of people are going to have competitive GPAs when you're applying to law school, but so like what can help you stand out is your work experiences. So, yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
I think we also asked too, like another kind of point. We've kind of already talked about it a bit, but like, at what point do you guys think like students should realistically start thinking about like co-ops or internships? Like, if we think it's like for sure needed to have, like, do you think first year, second year? Like, have you guys even thought about it?
Obviously, like if you're going into a co-op program, then like in first year. But if you have the opportunity to do it any point of your undergrad, honestly, I would say do it. Like if that's something you want to do, it's almost kind of like exchange in a sense. Like if you want to go on exchange, figure out when you want to do that, I guess.
Yeah, probably even like closer to when you want, like if you're looking at something like a co-op, it's probably better off closer to when you're applying to law school, just so it's
Yeah.
like more recent experience. But I think your summers are probably the most valuable resource you have kind of outside the school. You know, you can
Yeah.
start even before university, you know, between grade 12 first year, and again, it's 4 month summers, right? It's plenty of time.
Yeah.
And one last question too, but how do you guys think students, especially like us, I know if we have part-time jobs or anything, how do you think it's easy or possible to maintain strong grades while also pursuing work experience or co-ops or part-time jobs or anything like that?
Yeah, well, I only started working during the school year. I think actually this year. I didn't do it last year. In first year, it was kind of like not frequently. It was only when I'd go back home. Honestly, I think the fact that I work on campus is obviously like way easier because I don't have to commute anywhere. Um, and it's like being a student, they also like understand you're a student. So I think and there's also a bunch of resources actually. If you go on to like Mosaic, it'll have like job application, like there's different job positions that you can get on campus, and there's usually always some going on throughout any point of the year. In the summers when like you'll find more, but I think that's one thing.
I know myself, like I work full-time in summers most of the time, and then
Yeah.
throughout the school year I work part-time. So it's all about like finding a balance of what you actually know you can do. Like don't take on a co-op if you're doing a full-time job because obviously there's just gonna be
Yeah.
no time to do both of those. But if you plan like your years, especially like we were saying, like later years, even especially to get those references, it can be easy to do and very possible, I think.
I think it can be like viewed as a good thing as well. You know, like not everyone works during the school year, not everyone has to, but like for the people who choose to work or have to work, whatever the situation may be, you know, it goes back to your character, builds the work ethic, all the things that you're going to need, whether you're applying to law school or elsewhere. So, you know, some people may view it negatively, oh, I have to work, but it does, you know, build you up as a person at the end of the day. So it's all
Yeah.
about how you look
For
at
sure.
I'll just add on to what Dante was saying. Yeah, I think if you're able to like get good grades while you're working, like that'll stand out more to admissions committee because it shows that you can balance both versus like someone who might just be like working or just doing school. Yeah, I was gonna say it depends a lot on like your discipline and that you should have like a lot of like scheduled um or else I feel like for me personally, like I know my limit, so I just
Yeah.
know I'd rather just focus on one thing, like in the summer, which is work, and then
Yeah.
school.
Yeah, for me also, it's kind of odd, but like if I have too much free time, I'm just like not that great at like time management. So like especially if I am working, I'm like, shoot, I actually only will have like 2 hours to do something. So like I actually have to do it during that time.
a strict schedule.
Yeah, like it almost like helps me be more disciplined
I'm the
in a
same way,
sense.
100%. Yeah.
That makes sense.
So, to branch into the specifics of co op opportunities here at McMaster, McMaster offers a wide range of co op opportunities for a range of their respective programs, primarily focusing on some social sciences streams where applications are competitive, as well as engineering. With the second largest engineering co op in Ontario, McMaster offers a 12-month registered work experience alongside the earned bachelor's degree. Some examples are in computer engineering and computer science. Any undergraduate degree will be eligible to apply to law school, and if you're interested in attaining leadership skills and working opportunities in relation to law, you may want to consider applying for the social sciences co op. It offers opportunities in several honors programs such as anthropology, economics, environment society, health and society, political science, social gerontology, sociology, and work and labor studies. So many of the social sciences intersect with a wide range of law practices. For instance, if you're interested in gaining experience in public policy and assistance, the political science co op may be a great option. Likewise, to the Health and Aging Society co op if you're interested in health law and working with the Red Cross. Volunteering with universities within your respective faculty also enables opportunities for additional work and internship opportunities. Okay, so a question I have is how do you believe a co op stream can differ from a typical internship period within an undergrad?
I mean, co-op is directly through the school program, so I guess maybe you'd have easier access to, I don't want to say more reputable businesses, but um, ones that are more closely connected with the study or job career you want to pursue.
Yeah.
I had a buddy in engineering. He managed to do a co-op during the school year with Ontario Power Generation.
Mm.
So
wow.
it's great experience. He loved it there. And again, it's because you're coming from a school, I guess it looks better
Yeah.
on you as a candidate
That's fair,
because,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah, especially like it's already built in with the school and like your program. So it's easier. Like it's like kind of like the gateway's already there. You just have to
mhm,
excel, succeed. I don't know.
yeah, gets your foot in the door.
Yeah. Okay, I'll ask the second question. So applications to co-ops at McMaster are competitive. What is one piece of interview advice you would give to an aspiring co-op student?
I think one main thing is just be different. Don't be a robot because like lots of people are not even looking more at, like what you've done. Without it's just like, do they like your persona? Like, can they
Yeah.
actually see you? And if going into co-op a job, anything like that, right?
Yeah, kind of going off of what he said, just simple things such as like at the beginning, if they're like, "Oh, how are you?" Don't just say like "good." Just like one thing I did, it was like I just like told them a bit about my day, and then I ended up getting the job. So it's just like stuff like that, and then also like do your research,
Yeah, I was just
and then just like frame your answers and integrate like the values that they have in your responses. And even if they don't ask like the same questions, most of the time there's like, overlap, so you can just like piece it into the question so that it's still like applicable. And then I think one thing that's overlooked sometimes is like sending a thank you email
Yeah.
after you interview, just to show that you're like excited about the position.
Yeah,
So-
it also shows that, yeah, like you're still interested because a lot of the times that was, I mean, even though it's not a co op, that was like how I got my job back home. It was like between me and this one other girl, they like told me, and I was the one, like, I called back and I like to follow up or whatever, like say thank you. And then when they were deciding, they were like, oh, like she called back. So,
Oh wow.
yeah,
yeah.
literally.
Yeah, I think authenticity goes a long way.
Yeah.
You know, these people they're interviewing, who like, you know, they've probably been interviewing people for years at this point. They're good judges of character and they know how to read people. So if you're lying and you get the job, they'll know when you start performing your duties, and you know they're able to read you. So if you're authentic, it's easier to build a connection, and I think that goes a longer way than your raw skills, because if you have the raw skills to get the interview in the first place, then at that point they're just feeling you out as an individual.
Hmm.
Yeah, I also think linking, even if the question isn't necessarily like about your experience, like if it's just kind of more general, still linking back your answer to also like maybe specific moments where you've actually done those things also helps because you're giving like actual scenarios in which you've done these things.
So, yeah, very forthcoming.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up, we're actually going to start talking about an introduction to internships. So many students look to internships and undergrad work terms as a way to build their resume for law school while earning extra cash. Completing internships throughout undergrad is an excellent way to gain experience, build hard and soft skills, and gain some exposure to professional industries. The problem most students run into when searching for work is where to look and what to do once you actually found a job. So today, we're lucky to be joined by two McMaster students who have actually found legal positions as undergrad students. Drawing on their firsthand experiences, they're going to share practical guidance on where to look for legal roles and how to approach the application and workplace experience strategically. So, just to ask you guys the first couple questions, how did you guys find your internships, first of all?
Okay. So I was fortunate enough to have a position this past summer at the Crown Attorney's Office in Toronto. My role was a legal administrative secretary. So I was kind of going through evidence, sending it out to defense counsels, stuff like that. I was fortunate enough to have known someone who was an attorney there, but that goes back to a previous job I had working at a bakery. I met this person, you know, it comes from everyday jobs like that you wouldn't really expect, like, you know, not even a frontline worker, that's the wrong term, but like, you know, if you work at McDonald's or you sell clothes or whatever you do, you see all kinds of people every day, and even just a small hello or communicating with these people can lead to opportunities you wouldn't expect. So it's through avenues like that you can meet someone. Hey, oh, what are you studying? Oh, I'm in school, I want to go be a lawyer. Oh, really? My friend's a lawyer. Stuff
Yeah.
like that. You set up a chat, you build a rapport with them, and who knows where it could lead. For me, that ended up leading me to getting the job and gave me more insight as to the career I want to pursue. So very fortunate for that.
Yeah, so for me, I would say I had the most luck through like government websites. So whether if it was like at the federal level or the provincial level, because in first year I applied to something called like FSWEP. I think it's like Federal like Student Work Employment Program. So that was my first job like ever. And I was working at the passport office downtown Toronto. And I think, well, I never got anything in FSWEP like after that, even though I did apply. But I think that opened like a lot of doors for me provincially. So I think I applied through the SEO, like Student Employment Opportunity. So in the second summer, I worked at the Newmarket Superior Courthouse under like civil administration. I was just like an office assistant, and then that helped me for this year or this past summer, where I worked at the Hamilton Crown Attorney's office. Just basically what Dante was doing as well, like a legal administrative assistant. So yeah.
Yeah. Wait, how did you find, sorry, the Hamilton one? Like same.
Through the SEO as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So that like really opened a lot of doors for me. I think once you get your foot in, especially for government jobs, it opens like a lot, whether
Yeah.
it's just like in between the different levels of government as well.
How would you guys say that your experience was? Like, what did you kind of learn from it?
First, I would say for anyone interested in law that wants to pursue like a legal internship or something like that, first of all, just soften your expectations, just because it's something as sensitive as the law you're dealing with. Unless you're in law school, you're not allowed to specifically deal with like legal matters. So there's only so much you can do as a student, and there's only so many places that offer positions like that. So even if it's something like pushing paper or binding or just being in the environment, being surrounded by the people and just seeing firsthand the kind of work that you want to pursue just gives you a better idea of what you're doing firsthand, as opposed to, there's only so much you can learn in a classroom.
Or like what to expect.
Exactly.
Like for the second job at the Newmarket Courthouse, I asked like what's something that like previous students like struggled with when I was interviewing. And then like the interviewer told me, yeah, basically that it's like not what they expect. They expected like be in court and stuff, but like that position specifically, I didn't even like interact with people. Like I was just like doing behind the scenes stuff. So yeah, I think people expect to be like running around in court, but you're really just like doing administrative work. But at the Crown's office, like I was working the reception, so I actually got to like interact with people. So yeah,
got to be social, not just
And then one thing I learned, so those two opportunities, like that was when I got to try to see if I actually really liked like law and stuff, because in poli-sci we like learn about all these stuff and it's very theoretical, but I know I was kind of scared like going in because this was like the first time where I actually got to try to see if it was like something that I was passionate about, and thankfully it was. So yeah,
that's good. Yeah, I think that is like really important, especially I think a lot of people actually like know some people who wanted to go to law school and either they like were in it or like graduated and they were like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I think that that's a perfectly good like example of why internships are also valuable outside of just having the experience.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So we're going to continue now more talking about the internships. So looking for internships is often difficult for students, like we were just talking about, and takes time as well as practice. Although there is no science to actually getting a position, there are some common tips and tricks that many students have used to find internships related to their legal dreams. The first tip is being active on job recruiting sites such as LinkedIn and Indeed. Although these websites are very highly saturated with candidates, they're often a good starting point for searching for internships. The relative ease of applying, combined with the ability to tailor your job search to specific criteria, such as your relative experience, your level of education, or certain field of work, makes finding an internship you're willing to take far easier. We would recommend, however, that you're careful in the jobs you apply to on these sites, as you're often shown less information about the hiring company than if you were to utilize the company's website itself. The second tip is that we have to network through online platforms and events with individuals you could see yourself working with or for. It's important that your networking leads you somewhere, and students often get stuck in the world of trying to meet contacts without considering whether the person can actually help you down the road. It's important to spend time curating strong connections with people in fields that you actually want to pursue or individuals related in fields to yours. This ensures that opportunities coming from your time spent networking provide you with the best experience, and we'll talk about that in the next section of the podcast. But the final tip for finding internships is to tailor your resume to the positions that you're applying for. The reality is that one resume does not fit every job. Tailoring your experience to meet skill requirements or different job postings can put you way above the other competition. This change is as simple as framing your experience using different languages or to reflect different skills that you've developed in previous positions or years of education. Keeping a bank of different phrases and resume examples can really be useful to make this process easier, allowing you to continue filling out quick applications while tailoring each resume to specific job needs. So, just on those couple tips, we've got also another question here too. But are there any other big tips that I didn't just mention that you guys think would be useful when applying to like summer positions or internships at all?
Yeah, for me, it was just applying like anywhere and everywhere. Yeah, I use like LinkedIn and Indeed, and then like Glassdoor. I don't know. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but
I have.
I
I
haven't
think
either.
yeah, sometimes that could be helpful as well, like applying through like lesser known.
Oh, is it also like a job
Yeah.
listing site? Oh, okay. Just
Less competition
yeah.
that way.
Did you find any like success on any of those platforms?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I got one of them as like a research assistant for like downtown, like Chinatown business improvement area, the second year of my summer. But then I later got like the New Market one, so then I
Yeah.
didn't take
Yeah,
that
but
one.
at least like
yeah,
it hit like
worked.
I don't know,
Something hit.
something like Indeed obviously is like, again, as we said, like oversaturated. So a lot of the times like people are like, what's the point of even applying? So at least you had what was that on?
Glassdoor.
Okay, that you
Yeah.
had the okay.
And then another thing is I always like submit cover letter.
Yeah.
I
Even if they don't require one.
Mhm.
yeah. I know you said tailor resume, which you probably should do, but for me, I feel like that I tailor like my cover letter rather than my resume.
Yeah,
I
that's
do the
fair.
same thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that 100%. Because like resume is like while it is still good to tailor your resume, it's mainly about like your experience, like what you've actually done. Whereas like your cover letter, you can actually talk about like who you are, what you want to do, what you like to do, which is kind of good because you can switch that for any company. If you're applying for like a part-time job or a legal firm, like you can really change what you're talking about in both of those.
Yeah. I also don't know if this is actually like more relevant in the legal field. Like I don't know if people actually can do this and if they have success. But like also looking like in person, because obviously a lot of people are always like applying online to these things, but like you're just kind of, a resume or whatever. But I've also found like outside of like internships or like co-ops, like even just jobs in general, like going in person and like applying as well gives you, I think, a better head start than people who are just applying online because they get to see you. Sometimes, I don't know, employers can also just like ask you an on the spot question and then get to know you a little bit more that way so that you kind of have like an in a little bit. But yeah, I don't know if that's
I actually really agree with that one as well.
Yeah.
When I was I was at the Crown Attorney's office the year before,
Yeah.
so 2 years ago, and in that role, I was in court a lot. Just I was shadowing, I was taking notes for lawyers, stuff like that. But one of the advantages too is I got so much exposure to just various judges and defense counsel and a bunch of lawyers, and them just kind of seeing you there every day. You just when the court goes on break, you ask them a question, and this is like beyond just a job. Like anyone could just go walk in a courtroom and watch something,
yeah.
right? It's part of your rights, and beyond that, feel free to go ask a question to a lawyer or whatever as soon as they're done. And most of them, they're very open. They're willing to help. It's a tight knitted community, legal field, so everyone wants to help one another.
Yeah.
And even beyond that, I think something is that gets overlooked often is university clubs, right?
Yeah.
Pre-law society, for example.
Shout out.
Those fantastic events such as the lawyer panel
Big hit.
and just things like that. You have a lot of students and even sometimes professors come out
Yeah.
and support,
Mhm.
and you're all interested in the same goal at the end of the day. So you have a community there, and lawyers and these companies are more willing to help because they have lots of reach through these vast student
Yeah.
networks. So things like that, whether it's law or anything else, look to the clubs and meet a friend who could maybe put you in contact with someone else. You never know who knows who, right? So
It's true.
it's where you least expect it.
Kind of more of like that doing like your connections or like applying in person or whatever also gives you like a foot in the door because it also shows that you have like you're taking initiative, like you're actually going out of your way not to just like send a resume that you made like 3 months ago. You know what I mean? Like it shows like more effort as well. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what we talked about before. Like sending a resume is one thing, but like taking the time to be like personal and authentic.
Yeah, or even
is
like
huge.
writing a cover letter, like that's also
Yeah.
more effort than just being like, hey, here's my resume. Like
Yeah, because the
take a
resume,
look.
like it's like I think it was you that said before, like they do 100 interviews, like even like weeks or months or whatever. A resume is just a resume, is no matter how good your resume is. So cover letter can kind of give you like that little boost, just like
Yeah.
I'm being authentic and telling you who I am and what I actually want to do, right?
Yeah.
And even beyond that too, when you have opportunities to go have like coffee chats or just meetings with people in like a more informal environment, and like I got this from one of the lawyers at the lawyer panel actually. They mentioned the importance of, like we mentioned it before, about authenticity, you know, speaking with them not because you want a specific job or something, but a genuine interest in learning about what the career field's like, what their life was like, their experiences. That can benefit you like in ways other than a job can, and it could lead to a job, but don't go into those kind of environments expecting a job,
Yeah.
because then, you know, they'll be able to sense that, and
Yeah.
it's not genuine.
Mhm.
That's a good tip of advice, actually.
So the last section we actually have is what type of internships actually help law students. So when looking at internships and building a strong resume, it's more important to focus on opportunities to build your network and develop transferable skills that your employers will want as you enter your specified law fields in the future. As such, it is important to look for internships that will not only give you legal experience, but develop your knowledge of the industry that you plan to work in. For example, students exploring the idea of practicing corporate law should not only look for internships with corporate firms, but in finance and related areas that will help build your skills that you can use throughout law school and articling. Some of these important skills are research, drafting, and creative problem solving. Building these skills will make you an asset that is hard to pass over when the time comes to explore more specific law careers. Building your network through internships is equally important when considering where you plan to spend your time working. Working hybrid or remote internships will make building your network of professionals more difficult. The field of law is dominated by people with large webs of individuals looking to support their growth. This means that working in an environment that promotes relationship building is extremely important to law students. So, just some final questions about that. But are there any specific areas of work that you guys would avoid or focus on when considering the field of law that you guys want to explore, if you know?
Oh, wait, can you talk about like avoid? What do you mean?
Well, I was going to say, don't do something like if you have the opportunity to do something like in a field, but it's maybe not a field that interests you that much. Like, I don't know. I think there's also a point where even though like experience obviously matters, you also want to be doing something that you actually want to be doing. I don't know if that's like a basic answer, but just like avoid doing something that you don't want.
I like agree to disagree because like I get like
Yeah.
if you don't want to do it, don't do it, don't waste your time. But like experience is experience at the end of the day. So like maybe you'll do it and you'll actually end up liking
Yeah.
it or maybe change your mind, but it could really go both ways.
I actually agree with Luca a lot
Yeah.
there. A lot of the lawyers and stuff I've spoken to, in like corporate firms and stuff like that, because like I'm still kind of mixed as to what field of law I want to go into.
Yeah.
But even people in corporate, you know, you'd assume, okay, I want to work at a corporate firm, or at least I have some kind of legal experience behind me. But what a lot of them look at is other experience. You know, once you're in law school and once you graduate law school, you're looking for a job. You're a lawyer, sure, but so is everyone else applying.
Mhm.
Everyone's a lawyer. You're not special.
So what do you have beyond
so
that?
what beyond that? What, like I said
Yeah.
earlier, you know, you work at McDonald's, okay, you know how to deal with people. Maybe you worked at a bank, okay, you have some financial experience there. You know, you want a wide variety of experiences beyond just, you know, legal. That way they know, you know, you could speak with people, you could work in a team. You want to be a well-rounded candidate, and that goes beyond being a law, you know,
Just like
demon.
focus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Law demon.
He's right though, because it's like everyone's a lawyer, and even the couple lawyers that I know, and even the ones that we talked to at the lawyer panel that day, were saying that they would go into something like I know a big thing is people like to go into like intellectual law. I've heard so far,
Yeah.
and then they actually do it, and they're like, I hate this,
Mhm.
and they want to do something else. So it just good to broaden your horizons, I think.
Yeah.
Like back to my first job at the passport office, like obviously I knew that I wanted to go into law, and like you might think, oh, how would like passports, like that's not initially something that I'm like interested in, or like how does that connect to law, for example. But like I think any experience you're able to like tailor it or like spin it in a way that like fits the narrative in your like personal statement, for example. Because like I used that position to explain like how I would promote like diversity and inclusion by like giving people these passports, like to give them like a sense of belonging, that like they're like Canadian, for example,
Yeah.
or that they're like able to travel the world. So like things like that,
Yeah.
like you wouldn't really like expect it. Like I wouldn't have expected that going into the job, but like now looking back,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like, yeah, what both of you guys were saying. Like, at the end of the day, experience is experience, regardless of like what it's even in. So, like, even if it's in a legal field, like during undergrad, or even if it's not, as long as you can make it, again, to who you are and like what, again, your whole purpose of like going to law school, like in your application, then I think that's really what matters.
Yeah, there's no insignificant job because
Yeah.
you know,
No,
if
yeah.
you worked a job, that's part of who you are now. It's part of your experience. So that just helps to build you as a candidate, whatever it is, good or bad. If it's bad, then you know you talk about that experience anyways. And
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I strongly believe that like that first job at the federal level is what opened those doors to the other like actual court and legal
Yeah.
positions at the provincial level. So yeah, you never know.
Yeah. Sorry.
Kind of off topic too, like just about jobs still, but it's even like thinking about work, even just like part-time work. Like I know personally I've had a job since like 9th grade and I've worked every time since then. I have friends now who are even still getting like their first part-time jobs and they're like, nowhere's accepting me wherever. But it's just
Yeah.
because as soon as you get one job and you keep going, you keep building it, people are going to accept you way faster than if you have no experience.
Yeah.
I think also something that might also get overlooked as well is like what kind of, I guess maybe what I was trying to say earlier is like make your experience also like meaningful in a way. Like don't, because I think also what kind of makes it harder for people to get jobs is like say they're like, oh, I have so much experience, like I've had 5 different jobs, right? But you've only been at each one for like a couple months, right? That's
Yeah.
also another thing that matters is like your commitment to a certain area. So, you know, having a job over the summer is like you're doing that, that's it, right? And then obviously like internships, like they are usually like for whatever, however many months. So yeah.
I'd say loyalty goes a long way too.
Yeah.
You know, if you work a job one summer, you go back the next summer, that shows on a resume. You know, they liked you, you did a good job, they wanted you back, and you went back when they needed you too. So, you know, loyal employee, you're gonna be there when you're needed. And
Yeah,
that goes a
1000%.
long way as well.
Wait, how many jobs have you or like different
So
experiences?
I was at the Crown's attorney's office twice, like 2 different years.
Yeah.
In 2 different positions. So the first
Okay.
one I was volunteering, and you know it was cool because you got to see all kinds of cases on the front end, seeing the lawyers, you know, work their magic,
Yeah.
speak about all that. And then last summer, I was on the back end of things, you know, reviewing evidence, vetting it, sending it out to lawyers, you taking phone calls with defense counsels, and is a surprisingly large number of self-represented accused individuals. So you're speaking to them a lot too, and just kind of all the things like that. What was the question again?
Sorry, like well, I mean, I asked a question, but then I asked you like what jobs you've had.
Yeah. So, within that, but then even something like my experience at the bakery, I wouldn't be as, I don't want to say proficient, but what, for example, when you're on the phone, not to stereotype, but these accused individuals, some of them, it's violent crimes and it's horrific things that they've allegedly done. So they're very aggressive and stuff like that on the phone. And, you know, sometimes they threaten you and stuff like that. And it's, you know, it can be a lot, but when you have an angry customer who's going to threaten you because he's missing a slice of his pizza or whatever, you know, it's
Very real
it may
thing.
seem funny, but you know, people are typically more aggressive about, you know, food than anything else. And it's just
Interesting.
the experience of knowing how to talk to people in whether they're happy, aggressive, hungry, whatever it may be, it extends beyond. So because of that, you know, groundwork experience, I'm comfortable to speak if it's an unhappy customer, unhappy accused individual, deal with it the same way. And
Customer service.
Yeah.
Or going to
Goes a long way.
food law or something, right? Like
Yeah.
Volunteer experience goes a long way too. You know?
Yeah.
Shows you care about something other than money. You know, I mean, everyone cares about money, and you have to care about money with the current world we live in. But beyond that, you know, you're willing to, and again, this goes beyond your mandated 40 hours of high school community service. But like any volunteer experience you do, you're giving up time out of your day that you could have been spending at a job making money or with your friends or whatever else it may be. It shows you care. It shows what kind of person you are. And whatever kind of volunteer experience it is, it could be something that's legal. It could be something else, whatever it may be. It all helps to build you as an individual.
And even from personally speaking, from volunteering a lot, like you gain almost more connections volunteering than even like obviously like the part-time jobs, paid jobs. Yeah, you still get the same kind of idea if you find someone like even you were talking about before. Like you met someone, boom, look what happened. But for volunteer, like you're doing that for a purpose. Like you're helping out, you're doing that. So it's a lot easier to gain like these small connections here and there that will eventually build up to something that'll probably be like super useful down the road.
Yeah. Even with that, it's all these online applications and stuff for jobs or volunteering, whatever it may be. And it's so easy that, everyone, you're lying down, you're scrolling your phone, you're applying for a job, like get up, get off the couch, go outside. That's how you meet people. That's how you're going to put yourself out there. You have to physically go put yourself out there, put yourself in experiences, live life a little.
Yeah.
And it's through that you're going to meet people and get these experiences.
Like no one really knows you through LinkedIn.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a text message.
Yeah.
Like I could have been talking to ChatGPT for the last 3 months. Who knows? You know what I mean?
Like, let's connect.
Go get
and all
out
that,
there.
Let's connect. Open to work.
For like most valuable, I would say I feel like I've been kind of like pointing towards this answer, but like all of them were really valuable and led me to another thing. Like it was just kind of like a stepping stone. But like in terms of it helping me decide what field of law I want to work in, for example, I feel like I'm pretty easily swayed by like what's in front of me because I'm not like a law student.
Yeah.
So for example, like in the second summer, I thought that I want to become like a civil law, and then like this summer interested in like pursuing criminal law, for example. So I feel like just kind of getting a feel of what you want to do, but then also just knowing that not everything's like set in stone. You don't have to like make a decision right away.
Yeah.
I think beyond that too, for anyone who may be intimidated that they don't, prior to law school have any experience in the legal field or anything like that, because it is very difficult. It is very competitive. So how in that scenario do you really find out if this is your calling, if this is what you want to do, and beyond that, what kind of law you want to study? Go to these, a lot of these bigger firms like in Toronto or wherever you may be from, they're full service firms. So they study they practice almost any kind of law. It's so vast. So even if you go there, just ask to speak with someone, and they may turn you down. They may give you an email or something just to set up, but just go speak with someone, even if it's a complete stranger. Go find out. They'll tell you what a day in the life is like. They'll tell you what kind of work they do, and even just from that, you have a little bit more firsthand experience than just Google, and you could see whether this is something worth investing your time and your money and your future into.
Yeah.
You've also got nothing to lose.
Exactly.
By
Yeah.
talking to these people or applying, like you realistically just like shoot your shot. Like it sounds stupid.
I mean,
but-
also like going into law, you're going to have to speak to people. So getting again that head start of just going in, even if you get turned down by every single person, you're still getting that experience of like going in and asking.
That reminds me of a good quote. I'd rather go 0 for 30 than 0 for 9. If you went 0 for 9, you stopped shooting. You lost confidence.
That was beautiful.
Thank
What
you,
a
thank you.
banger conclusion right there. I just say we end it.
Okay. Wait, I did have just like a side question. But
I
it
was
doesn't have to
joking,
get
by the
like
way.
included. Do you guys? Well, I mean, obviously you applied to law school, but like, are you doing anything this? Sorry, your eyes just like widened when I asked the question. Do you guys have anything for the summer? Like, are you going back to like say for like the Crown's office or? This is just like me personally asking. I'm not like it doesn't have to be included.
I sent them an email. I want to go back.
Okay.
They said they want me back. So most of the people that work there, it's mostly full timers.
Yeah.
So, but there is a lot of like turnaround, especially like in the summer months. Someone's always getting
Yeah.
pregnant or something. So hopefully
To put it bluntly,
I can have a position. But if that doesn't work out, I have a few other like places. Like I might go to a tax firm, something like that. But
All in Toronto, right? That's where you're.
yeah.
From.
Well, I mean, I'm from Mississauga, but it's close enough.
it's pretty much right
Mhm.
there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because you drive anyways, so
Yeah.
you don't have to like commute. I guess that's also easier.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I would go back. It's in Hamilton, so it's
Oh.
kind of difficult.
Oh, right.
Because
You're not renewing
yeah,
at least,
yeah.
obviously.
I'm not trying to commute.
Yeah, we're not including this part.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I was just like more personally like intrigued. Just,
How about you?
I'm gonna study for the LSAT this summer, so like I'll be still working like at the campus store, like
fair.
That's
Oh, it's
part-time.
open in
You'll
the
be
summer?
focused.
Yeah,
That's
How
good.
many
Yeah, you'll
customers
be
do you guys have?
like now or like in the
Oh,
summer?
in the summer.
Sorry. Like literally none. I think it's also more like it's because obviously people are doing research and stuff like that. So it's more like adults.
Oh, and maybe I'm sure tours for some.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna say
and
that.
also, I mean, we
Like
also
incoming people.
yeah,
students,
we
right?
also do convocation. So like
Oh, yeah.
grad, there's 2. It's like one. Oh yeah, I'll be working. It'll be like in May, I think, and then in June.
Okay.
Those are also pretty busy because then everyone comes into the store. Like
Get like the
yeah,
frame.
parents, they're like buying gifts, stuff like that.
T-shirts and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, buying their frames. So that's when it gets like busier. But no, I was here last summer like for a bit and it was very like it was really slow.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's also like again very reasonable. Like you can still get a few like quite a good amount of hours, but it's also like the time when it's open, you still have like the day to do other stuff.
That's good. You'll be like focused
Yeah.
because you can like study on campus and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
I know, and also like I'll be living obviously alone. Well, like some of my roommates will be here, but like it'll be easier to focus than if I were at home.
Gown and gavel every week.
Bro. No, I know my friends will want to go, but well, that concludes our discussion. So whether you're in first year trying to figure everything out or in upper year thinking about what comes next, remember that experience always counts. Every application, interview, or even placement builds skills that any lecture hall could never teach. And the earlier you start exploring these co-ops and internships, the more options and opportunities you'll make for yourself. Thanks for tuning in to the Pre-Law Perspective. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.